Hey guys, welcome to Kerbal Space Program for beginners. I am your captain, host, whatever you want to call it. First of all, I want to say this is called Kerbal Space Program. It's an independent game currently being developed, so this is still like a beta testing sort of version. So it's a sandbox game at the moment where anything goes until they implement some sort of campaign mode, which they will be doing. It's made by Squad. It's heavily process based. It runs on the Unity engine, which is a process based sort of game engine. So it's not like graphics intensive or memory intensive. I think it uses around 1.5 gigs of memory. I'm not sure. So if you haven't got like the greatest processor, you might encounter some lag on, like if you're building big fat rockets or big space stations, you'll get lag. But you can counteract that by going into settings, and yeah, this makes physics delta time. It's usually around 0.1. Basically, if you slide that up to the end, instead of lagging, it'll slow the game time down, so it'll look smooth. You won't notice any difference in the gameplay apart from you won't have lag. So it's a really nice little feature. So yeah, if you're suffering from lag and ever wondered how to get rid of it, that's how. Just slide that up. Also, enable terrain scatters. Does not slow down the game at all, and it just adds a lot of rocks and stuff to planet surfaces and that, so it looks better, looks more authentic. So yeah, I don't need to apply. Every time I click apply, my game crashes for some reason. Like because I've got two game directories loaded, because my normal one's full of mods, and obviously we're starting out, so I want to start, with the standard parts and basics, and then I'll switch over to my modded one later on, and I'll list like for each thing we're doing the mods I'm using and stuff. So I'll kind of do like a mod showcase as well in the future. But yeah, let's get back to the game. So we'll start. Wonder if my save games. Yeah, there's a default. We'll start. YouTube. Why not? Yeah, see, there was career mode, but it's not enabled yet. But everything has a price, like all the parts has a price, so obviously they're going to implement some sort of career mode down the line. So this is the sort of splash landing page where everything is. Not many people know it because it's above top secret, but this is called Area 69. So just remember that. So yeah, we've got your space plane hangar on my left where you build space planes. I say space planes, but most of the time the planes you build, if you're not putting rocket parts on, then they're just for flying around Kerbin. Tracking station, which keeps track of all your flights. So if you've got 10 things up in space, you can switch between them there. Launch pad over there. It's obviously where you launch. And this is our main building where we're going now, the vehicle assembly building. So I think in the first video we'll just go through the parts. Yeah, we'll go through the parts, and then next video we'll like make a rocket and stuff. So here's your command pods. All of these 6 here are manned. Like this is obviously for shuttles. Well, it doesn't have to be, but mainly it's like for your space planes and shuttles. So is that, and that obviously. And these are your like lander cans and orbital sort of things, command pods, and these are probes. So yeah, if we just like pick a big one. So yeah, this is where you start building. Yeah, if you click on something, it'll like toggle it, sort of connected to it, and then you can like move it. Scroll your mouse wheel up and down to move up and down. Obviously, here's all your fuel tanks and engines. Different sizes. Like this would be for the smaller pods. Like this is a 3-man pod, so you'll need bigger tanks for this. See, just click and connect. Obviously you won't want that to stay attached to this, so you'll have decouplers which basically separate the rockets. See, and over here is your staging, like, you know, what happens when. So like if we're in a flight and we press spacebar, that would like go through the stages. So if I press spacebar when we was out, you know, out of here in space or anywhere, and press space, that would decouple them two. If I put a yeah, these are different sizes, but obviously that's for a small tank. These are for the bigger ones. So that's actually a complete rocket that would fly. Different planets obviously have different gravity fields. Kerbin's kind of like, it's a lot smaller than Earth's scale. Like everything's kind of scaled down, obviously, for the game. But Kerbin's like Earth kind of planet. So yeah, and you have control, which is SAS, which is like an auto stabilization. We'll go through them like on the next video when we're flying, basically. RCS, reaction control system, like squirts gas. But you need, if you press X, you got symmetry mode down here. Oh yeah, I strongly recommend clicking angle snap, so it does it in angles. Symmetry is key on here. If you want stabilized rockets that are stable, easy to control, you want to use angle snap. And also, center of mass will tell you where your center of mass is. The key thing when you're using RCS is to have RCS as close to the center of mass as possible, or if you're using like two sets, you want them kind of equal distance. I don't have an RCS tank. You need RCS fuel tank on here to control these, or supply them with fuel. But if I hold Alt and click it, it copies. It's a quicker way, just so you know now, to go through things. So they're like equal distance. We should have good control over this if we're using RCS. I'll just show you the RCS tanks are here. You've got two sizes, big and small. But yeah, if I put this in here, then the center of gravity will change. So I'll move them up. So yeah, that should give us good control over this. So yeah, that's a pretty simple basic rocket. But yeah, that's the control basically all done. Different RCS ports and a small SAS for the smaller rockets, and a big one. Is that the advance? You see, they're both the same size, so I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I'm not sure what the difference is between these. A larger scale doesn't seem large. Oh yeah, it is. Sorry. Yeah, this is a smaller advance which uses RCS, and this one doesn't use RCS. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, this avionics package used for space planes. If you stick it on the end of your nose, okay, end of your plane, it stabilizes the plane. In structural, you got all different things. Like if I wanted to connect things. Sorry, my mouse is a bit buggered. Yeah, basically, you can kind of tell what that does. If I want to go from like a small fuel tank, an engine, to like a big one, I can stick that in. This is just an adapter, pretty much the same, but on a smaller scale. Just structural fuselage, yeah, for stakes and connecting things. So it's even smaller, kind of for probes and things. These are decouplers. You don't want to use this type really on this sort of these size tanks, but these would be fine. Like if I put 4 there, we could add tanks to it, like that, and you can add, just click in that, basically drag and drop to build your rockets. And then we can put more engines on here. And this is fuel, like fuel crossfeed. So while if they're all these engines, if every single one of them engines are fired up, having this on, it will still fire these engines, but the fuel will also go into the middle. And when these are all burnt out, we can decouple them with this. So we'll drop the dead weight basically, and we'll still have a full fuel tank here, which is very key. Like you're seeing, pretty much everyone uses the fuel crossfeed. We'll go into that more next video when we actually start flying. Yeah, you got some solid boosters. Basically, these boosters you have no control over. They just shoot like fire at full throttle until they run out. Whereas all these engines and these fuel tanks you have control over. You can control the throttle power. So yeah, that's up to structural. Struts. You need struts. This is a bigger decoupler for radial connections. Like if I wanted to connect some of these big middle tanks, I'd definitely use. I'll take this off a sec. The gravity, center of mass. Okay, off. Yeah, we'd use these to connect bigger tanks. Yeah, so these are just more decouplers like this, but smaller ones. The stack separator is pretty much the same as a decoupler. I think it's pretty much the same. I don't really know the difference between them. You've got these which split into 3, so you can have like a small command pod on top with 3 fuel tanks or connections. So many different varieties of things you can do. Yeah, if you don't want your rocket pieces wobbling about and falling off, you need to strut things up using these struts. And I suggest kind of trying to get symmetry, because you'll get rotation if not. So you want to make things as symmetrical as possible. But when you've got the symmetry mode on, you'll see it automatically flops things around. And you don't want to use too many, because the more parts you have, the more chance you're going to lag. So this would work fine, basically. That'd be enough. That would keep that steady, no problem. Alright, so yeah, these are just struts and pieces. Use them for space station. This is a hub. You can put docking ports on for docking in space. We'll go into that later on. Aerodynamics. Best thing to use. These help like sturdy your maneuverability when you're in the atmosphere. They only work in the atmosphere. But I could stick 4. So we'd have a lot of control over this rocket while in the atmosphere, not in space. So when we're going up, if we can't control our rocket, we have RCS on, which will help. But you don't want to burn all that up early. So yeah, these will really help. And I advise the AVR8 winglet for you don't need loads on it either, just one set somewhere, preferably near the bottom. Although I don't think it matters. Then you've got utility. Yeah, you need power to also a parachute. You'll want to I think the M16 is the better one. Yeah, if you want your Kerbals to land safely back, or even on a planet with atmosphere, then yeah, parachutes are good. So yeah, back to parts. Alright, yeah, you've got battery packs. Could actually stick some batteries on top there, although the struts are in the way. Yeah, you'll need power. If you run out of power, you lose control over your ship. I don't think these command pods and things are too bad with power-wise. It's more for probes and unmanned things. But you should always have a power supply on your ship. So like, you don't need a lot, because the more parts you use, the worse it is. So I'll put like 4 batteries. Yeah, I don't want them on there because we're going to ditch them. Well, we would ditch them even though we're not flying. And a couple of solar panels, which are here. Just 2. 2 would do fine. That's no good, is it? They are a bit big. Just use the small ones. Obviously when we ditch them, we'll have a lot more room. Okay, we have 4 of them. It's pretty much that is a all-in-one kind of thing. Ship. To land, you need lander legs. You press G to deploy them when you want to use them. So this could, in theory, be a pretty good little lander. I'd move these down slightly though, just so they're level. What's going on there? The symmetry's kind of chucked extra fuel things on. That don't matter, we're not flying this. So yeah, they would come down and extend, and we'd land. No, I'll quickly show you that actually. Ladders, these are extendable ladders. I didn't rotate this, but take off symmetry. If you press X, I told you earlier, it does the symmetry thing down there. Yeah, I haven't really been sensible about showing you parts. I was just chucking a rocket together. Yeah, basically you could put a few of these in, these on, and they extend. You have to right click and then extend, just to get in and out. Obviously I'd rotate this around, and then we'd have a clean slot down here to get out. Yeah, you got lights as well, so if you're landing in the dark, you can move things. If you hold shift, it's fine controls, but if I take shift off, I'm using WAS and D, so it rotates things. So yeah, basically, oh dear, oh there we go. Took me a while to get back to where I wanted them. So yeah, I could stick them on like that. This is a badly designed rocket, by the way. I'm just showing parts. But yeah, that would light up the floor where we wanted to land. There's all sorts. These are more. They're just, yeah, lots more solar panels. Oh yeah, you've got a xenon engine, an ion electric propulsion, which uses xenon gas and electricity for your probes. Basically, it's really pretty much useless in my opinion. I hate them. They just don't, yeah. This should be, I've got in my modded version, this is actually a command pod, but this is a hitchhiker storage. It holds 4 Kerbals, and the Kerbals are your little astronauts. So yeah, you could obviously not attach it there, but oh yeah, when you attach things to the bottom of engines, they shroud them up, so it's nice, doesn't look ugly. And science, just a few instruments. They don't actually do anything. This opens into like a little satellite dish, and that's just like a little aerial. And then here you got, this tells you the gravity of a planet. Yeah, the barometer. Oh, that's the gravity. I'm not sure what that does. Particles and a thermometer. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the parts in this video. If you like the video, hit like, subscribe. Next video we'll start sending some stuff up in the air. So catch you next time.